Hi everyone, welcome back to Total War Therapy, and today will be probably the longest video I ever made because we're gonna make a quick campaign review of every faction, every legendary lord in Total War Warhammer 3. I gave the food to the dog, so I think she will give me some time. Please don't forget to subscribe if you enjoy my video, take a seat and let's begin. Let's start with the faction from Total War Warhammer 2, and Tyrion was the first campaign I ever played. I just bought the game because it was at a very high discount and I knew nothing about all the factions that were here. So the game just told me to play as as a starting campaign to learn the game, and I did it. I had a lot of fun. I was playing with the easy setting, but despite that, I still had a very hard time. I wasted a lot of turns. At the end, I got attacked at both from the Lizardmen and the Dark Elves, and actually I didn't know that there was something beyond Ultron. Okay, because there were the shadows around the map, so I just thought that the game was around the Ultron and just that. I think it's what many high elves living in Ultron think, that there is nothing beyond. And when I got attacked by Dark Elves and Lizardmen, I just say, okay, there are waves of enemies coming from the shadow. This is an easy campaign. You start in a safe location. There are the vampire counts that attack you from the south, but you will not be their priority, and then there is Nkari that will take a little to reach you, so you're in a safe spot, and so you have the chance to make mistake. And I mean, if someone has to ask me, this is the campaign I would suggest to a beginner, someone that just start the game. The starting army, it's okay. You have a Flame Phoenix, that is a good unit in the early campaign, and yes, you don't have particular unique mechanics. The entire campaign at the end revolves around building Ultron, so you have a bonus for the keep, for the construction, the recruitment time, and the diplomacy. Teclis got moved in Total War Warhammer 3, and now he starts his campaign at the very south of the Southland. He's not a very tough position because, I mean, you have Crockguard that can be an ally. Then you have Kairos that, I mean, he will attack you, and Tzeentch can be very powerful, but is not an imminent danger. So you have time to expand a little, to solidify your settlements, and then take care of Kairos. But yeah, beside that, you're really surrounded by by allies than enemies. So it's a safe spot to start. All his faction effects are a little around the magic because he's supposed to be one of the best spellcaster in the world. He starts with a Frostbite Phoenix that for me is probably the best unit of this roster. A Eagle, Clawball Throwers, so a good artillery, and the Swordmaster of Hoeth that are a very elite infantry that you will unlock very late in the game. This is a nice campaign, but not that challenging in my opinion. Now, Alariel. Okay, I didn't find interesting this character, but at the end I played the campaign with her and I had fun. Even her is in the middle of Ultron and she doesn't have big enemies. There are of course Nakari, some Dark Elves around, but yeah, from the south they are protected by Tyrion, and then even in the other coast there is Mother of Stenkia, so yeah, you have no problems. You can just keep safe your position and then decide what to do. You can recruit a couple of, I think 3 units from the Wood Elves roster that, all 3 men and like that. And this is a nice campaign even here for beginner, but yeah, you have to find the challenge. The challenge is not coming to you. Now let's talk about Alitanar. This is another very interesting character because it's an archer. He has a bow, and for me all the bow characters are the best. And even his starting army is full of bows and an eagle. He has a nice mechanic that revolves around hunting particular characters that for me I have found it funny. And what is the best? The best quality of this campaign is the starting location, because you're in the middle of enemies, and if you're looking for trouble, for the challenge, this can be the right campaign. You have Dark Elves, you have Malekith that can come to you, you have Taurox with the Beastmen, you have Silostra. I mean, you're just surrounded and you have to be very, very careful, even because starting in a central position, you don't have the chance to keep an area safe and then expand. And they can even attack you from the Norsca, so yeah, it's just crazy, and I love it. You can recruit a couple of unique unit and hero, and yes, this is another free campaign, so I really suggest you to play with that as soon as you know, get along with the High Elves mechanic. Now we have Eltarion the Grim. You need a DLC to play with him. Is it worth it to buy the DLC? Probably, if you like High Elves, yes. He has a double starting location that, as you know, is one of my favorite things ever. One is in the Ultuan, so you can slowly expand in this land, but be careful because there is Nakari that will attack you very, very early. And then you can, you know, send, I mean, you will have a boat, a colony, trying to colonize the Badlands that, as you can understand, is not an easy area. It's full of Greenskins and vampires, Tomkins, and Scarbrand that will spread his rage even to you, sorry. And yeah, this is probably my favorite campaign, but just for the double thing. And you have access to a little roster of unique units that I talk about in one previous short. They're just amazing. They are, I mean, it offers a very good variety to that, so I mean, thanks to these unique units, so I like it. Yeah, I definitely like it. And then you have a mechanics that revolves around his rivalry with Grom the Punch. That it's nice, but it's a little looks like looks like a little like a mini game. So I don't appreciate it that much. But overall, the campaign is worth it to play if you like High Elves. And the starting army, I mean, nothing that unique, but the Silvering Guard are quite nice. Now, Imrik. This is another tough starting location if you're looking for a challenge, because you start in the Darklands. Probably there will be Nagash at some point. Now, no. But yeah, you're still surrounded by Greenskins here, the Chaos Dwarfs with Drazoat, Nurgle, and there are the Skaven with the Tzeentch. So you're surrounded by enemy, but you will have access to a unique roster of dragons that you can recruit not that late in the campaign. So as soon as you get access to all these special dragons, you will not have problem with any faction. It's a nice campaign. I like it. And yeah, they can, yeah, if I remember correctly, they give you access at the end to another settlement in the Ultuan. So even in this case, you can play with the double starting location, almost starting location, and yes, very nice. Now it's time to talk about the Dark Elves, another very lovely faction. I really hope for them to get a new DLC, even if there are not so many missing units and options, but I would like to see something like that. And let's start with Malekith, the High King of Dark Elves. He starts in the middle of Nagaron, so it's a safe position. You're quite a little surrounded. There is Taurox, but they're all a little far. There is Grombidal from Dwarfs. There is Taurox in the south, Valkia that will try to attack you, but you have Helbron that you can you know, get side by side and help each other. About his mechanics, as Tyrion has a lot about building the Dark Elves Empire, so upkeep bonus, diplomacy bonus, allegiance for the allies bonus. You start with the Blackguard of Nagaron that is a very elite infantry, and I mean, a well-rounded roster that can be quite helpful. I like this campaign, and probably if it's your first campaign with Dark Elves, I would probably suggest this, because I mean, it's not that hard, it's not that easy, just several like that. Morathi, the mother of Malekith. Yes, I hope you can recruit some units from Slaanesh, and maybe with the next DLC there will be some anointed Druki. We assume that probably will be able to recruit with the Morati or other Dark Elves. You start in this area that it looks huge, but it's not. You're just a big fortress. And yeah, you have Mazamund in the south. You have Cathay. It's Cathay. Yeah, I mean a Tom King in the west and the Mother of Stankia in the east. So you have to be careful in the early campaign. Back in Total War Warhammer 2, this was one of the hardest campaign. Now I don't think it's one of the hardest, at least, but I mean it can be challenging. And yeah, all her stuff are around magic and sacrifice, and yeah, you can have fun with there, but yeah, it requires a little more of expertise with Dark Elves to play it good. Hellborn. Hellborn is another nice character. Her starting location is a little redundant with Malekith. You are very close, so for me playing one or the other is just, I mean, in any case you will confederate, but you are a little more in the middle of all the Chaos Lords. There is Sigvald, then there is Valkia, but yeah, you're quite protected at the end, because once you take care of some Chaos Lord, you will have a free way to Malus and to Malekith. So yeah, it's not very hard, honestly. But yes, in her starting thing, in the starting army, you have the Harganet Executioner and the Sister of Slaughter that are mid infantry, but together they can be good in your early campaign. And then you have a lot of bonus about slavering, because I mean she's the biggest slaver of Dark Elves. Lokirfelheart, my favorite character from the Dark Elves roster. He's very nice, and he starts in a very interesting location, because it's in the Cathay. I mean, you can just you know, suck in the cost of Grand Cathay and expand little by little. You will have a Black Ark, so I mean, you can really dominate all the sea in this area. The Grand Cathay faction in this moment are not that strong. You will be closer to the Death Master, so yeah, be careful about him. And Miao Ying, it's actually far, so you can really decide where to go, if fight against the Chaos faction or not, or going to the south. I mean, you are free, and probably I suggest to wait a little more to Grand Cathay to be more crowded, because at that point it will be definitely more funny. All his ability are about, I mean, helping all the marine of the Dark Elves, so the Black Ark Corsairs and so on. And as you can see, even in his starting army, he has a lot of Black Ark Corsairs. Now, Malus Darkblade. This is a hard campaign, and not for the starting location. I mean, you start here in the middle of the Chaos Lords, so yeah, you will have Epidemius, Sigvald, and many others, and you will have a settlement here that, I mean, so it's funny for the double starting location. At the same time, you have a particular ability that it can be, I mean, it cannot be that supportive to your campaign if it's your first. I mean, it's definitely not your first campaign for Dark Elves, so you have to buy DLC. A DLC that I don't know if it's worth it to buy, because it had just a couple of units, and as I said, his campaign is not particularly amazing, but yeah, still fun. You have a good starting army, and I mean, at least that, because you start in a complicated starting location. And yes, Brakart, I love his campaign, I love his character. You're basically starting in the Lostria, and from there you can recruit a lot of I mean, monsters, not unique, but from other faction that yeah, can be from bears to dinosaurs to mammoth and everything. And yeah, I really like these mechanics, even if in the early campaign it's probably helping you too much. I mean, it's a big help to get access to all these monsters in the very early campaign, but still you have to deal with the money of the upkeep. You have a Hydra and a Reaper Ball throwers that will be very helpful when you will start your campaign. And yes, basically, I mean, all of the thing is about monsters, and I really like it's a campaign for free, so you don't have to buy anything. And wow, this is a very good one. Every time I got shocked by how many Lizardmen lords we get. And yeah, let's start with the Mazzamundi. Mazzamundi is the basic campaign of, you know, Lizardmen. You start in this nice location, you're between Morati and the Jet Dragon, Marcus. I mean, you don't have big enemies at the start, and I mean, not even later. You decide where to go, who to fight with. And you start with an actually very good roster. You have a Croxigor, Bastillodon with Revivification Crystal, and the Temple Guard that is the most elite infantry of Lizardmen. And yes, everything, the faction effects are quite around magic and so on. It's a nice campaign, but at the same time, I will be honest, I didn't have a lot of fun with him, even because Lizardman has some of the, I mean, less impressive mechanics of the game. So, I mean, I would just wait a little more probably to get rework with their mechanics to start a new campaign with them. Krokar is another very basic campaign. You start, I mean, here actually now there is Wurzang, the Greenskin Lord. So yes, and then you have some Skavens, the Tompkins, the Dwarfs. It's I mean, you can just expand in the Southlands wherever you want. It's yeah, just it's a nice campaign, but even here not that amazing. You have a good starting army with the Feral Stegadon. I think that in Total War Warhammer 2 you were starting with the Carnosaur. I'm not sure about that. And yeah, all his things are about the Saurus Warriors, because he's the best Saurus Warrior. And yeah, nothing that much to say. Now win. I always say his name not correctly. This is a nice mechanic. First, because he put you a limit. You have to buy DLC. Okay, say that. They put a limit to how many Saurus. I mean, you cannot recruit Saurus infantry or Temple Guard because it's I mean, it's a little expensive. So you can focus on the skinks. And honestly, I love to have this kind of campaigns when you don't have to use necessarily all the roster, but you can focus on you know, more specific and lorefully units. And that in this case is kings. And I mean, in any case, you have plenty of monsters of dinosaurs. You have a lot of salamander hunting pack, Bastildon, and yeah, many skinks. So it's a very powerful starting army, and you have a unique mechanic that gives access to some bonus, some magic, and some special units. That's why probably this is my favorite or one of my favorite Lizardman campaign, and I would suggest to play in this case. If you like Lizardman, I really suggest you to buy the DLC, because it's a very funny lord, and the starting location is not that crazy. You will be, I mean, there will be Rakard at some very point. There are the dwarfs. Before there was Khalida. Unfortunately, she's not there anymore. And yeah, you will get against Skaven, against Skulltaker later, and other things. Even here you don't have imminent dangers, and you have even Oxiatl that defends you from the south. But yeah, it's a very nice campaign. I would suggest you to play, and yeah, I love it. Tic Taco, this is another free lord that all his faction effects are around flying units. He starts in the middle of the Southlands. Even here, not that I mean, it can be interesting. It can be interesting actually, because there is the Empire, there is Manfred. There is Volkmar from the Empire. Then there is Manfred. There is Wurzag with the Savage Orcs, and yes, so you will have plenty of enemies. So you can still just travel to Araby and fight against Nagash, Bretonia. You have a good variety, and yes, about the thing. I mean, you have just, if you want to do a campaign and rely mostly on flying units, this can be a very nice choice. Gorok. Okay, you start in the middle of Lostria, and this is a very powerful faction because he gives a lot of bonus to all his Saurus warriors, and I mean units overall. And yeah, the army is not that impressive, but believe me, Gorok alone, it's just crazy. And in the middle of Lostria, you can you have to defend from anyone, but at the same time, Lostria is hard to move around. So yeah, you will not be surrounded very soon. But yeah, there there is Skull Taker, there are the Skaven, the Empire, and yeah, you can decide where to go. This can be nice, and this is for free. Nakai I really don't like. It has a horde mechanics that I don't like. I just don't like it. I played once, and I mean once in Total War Warhammer 2 and once in the 3, and yeah, definitely not fun. You have a lot of Croxigore, and yeah, it's not even Lizardmen faction. It's more like you know, if you want to play Lizardmen but not caring about the, you know, building your empire, focusing on settlements, in that case you can play this campaign. But yes, you need to buy DLC, so your choice. You start in a very not crowded area, in probably the worst starting location at the moment, because there are no other legendary lords. They will be probably added in the future. I still think that Creative Assembly added this area because they wanted to put the famous Tigerman Lord and Ogre Kingdom Cathay Lord, but they didn't, unfortunately. And yes, you're here and there is nothing funny to do. You can just move around, conquering, giving to the old plants, and yes, that's it. Oxiato, this is another funny campaign. It's about traveling and teleporting, so it doesn't matter that you're here, you can go wherever you want. And yeah, you can conquer the south wastes. This is not that hard because you're the most powerful faction here. There is just Kairos, and then Teclis can help you. And yeah, all his mechanics are about these teleport things and about the skinks, the Camelion skinks. And I have to be honest with you, first I would suggest you to buy this DLC because it offers a good campaign and good units, and then with this campaign I really learned how to use Stalk units. That's why it's amazing. Okay, you have to give a try. I mean, already played a lot of different campaigns, but with this, you know, the Stalk units, the Skirmish units, they were not a secret anymore to me. So if you want to focus and specialize on this category of units, this is the perfect campaign in all the game, the perfect campaign for you. Skaven, the best faction of all the game, and not my favorite maybe, but I admit that it's the best for the units, for hoverride. You can really play with monsters, with artillery, with magic, and at the same time the mechanics are incredible. You can expand your empire in many different ways, and let's start with quick Head Taker. He starts in a good starting location, because even here you're surrounded by enemies. There are Dwarfs, Greenskins, there will be Nagash at some point, hopefully, Tom Kings, Dwarves, Scarbrand. So yeah, you're surrounded, that everyone hates you, you hate everyone, so you can just bring the havoc. Of course, it's challenging, but I mean, with Skaven, I never know when it's actually a challenge. You have a good starting army with a lot of Storm Vein, a Catapult, and yeah, all your faction effects revolves around the melee capabilities of your armies. So yeah, not a unique mechanic. I don't know if we will see it in the future, but yeah, nice to start with, but not the most interesting campaign. Lord Skrolk, he's about the plague and spreading plagues in the Lostria. I mean, about his faction mechanics. I mean, it doesn't have a mechanics, just the effects. Probably, I hope they will give to him a mechanic inspired to the Nurgle one in one of the next patch. And yeah, in the map it starts, as I said, in Lostria, so you will be against a lot of Lizardmen, and then Rakart. I mean, you know, Lostria, there is the big pole of the Lostria, so yeah, there is the Empire, the Bretonia, the Vampire Counts. You can just decide to who spread your plague. Even here is an interesting campaign, but it doesn't offer anything that unique for now. Tzeentch Craventail, I will be honest, I never play with them. I would be very honest. I can lie, but I play against him a lot of times, and yeah, I can assume it starts in a fun starting location. You have Chaos Dwarfs, Greenskins, the Elves, and the Dwarfs. So yeah, it can be challenging. You have apparently a little mechanic that no, maybe you don't have it, but maybe there is something linked to Karak 8 Peak. I don't know. If some one of you play that, just tell me. Even the starting army look nice. I mean, you have a Doom Wheel at the beginning. What do you want? That it's the one of the most elite unit of the Skaven roster. So what do you want more? I mean, for a coward, this is definitely a good point. Ikit Claw. This is the second, for me, best campaign of Skaven. You start in a good, not that good starting location in the middle of Estalia and Tilea. I don't know if they will populate it more with the Dogs of War faction, but yeah, for now you have Empire, you have Beastmen, and you have Dwarfs, a lot of Dwarfs, and you can expand through to Bretonia or to the Dwarfs to the south, so to the Badlands, to the Southlands, and you have Aranessa. I mean, you have a lot of options, but what's the best thing about him? He has a good starting army, of course, of many rattling guns and warplug details. As I was saying, his mechanics, he's around building your, improving and upgrading your arsenal, your missile units. You have access to bombs, to atomic bombs, and it's nice. And yes, in this workshop you can just upgrade everything that it's war machine and a missile in this roster. And yeah, it's very nice. Just if you really enjoy the more defensive playstyle of Skaven. Now that Master Tzeentch, he has access to a unique mechanics that it's about contract. I hope that even given what they did with Ogre Kingdoms, at some point they can upgrade it. It's not that good, it's not that bad, it's something in the middle. You start in the middle of Grand Cathay, that if you like to bully Grand Cathay lords and dragons, it can be a very nice start, and it's probably the best quality. And yes, all his access are about the more stalking units and assassins of the roster. You have a good starting army with the poison with mortars that will help you a lot in the early campaign. I mean, this unit alone can destroy entire armies. And yes, you have to buy DLC if you want to play it, and I will be honest, I don't suggest it at 100%, just if you are a Skaven fan. Now, Trot the Unclean. This is a nice legendary lord, and this is my favorite campaign from Skaven. I loved his campaign in Total War Warhammer 2, but I think that in Total War Warhammer 3 this is just insane. This is one of the best starting location, because from here you start in the north of Kislev and you can expand to Kislev, to the Empire, to the Chaos Wastes, to Norsca, and with all the subtle way an Empire of Skaven has to expand, you can really find your personal way, and I love it. And then you can upgrade units and monsters, and this is very nice. All his factions are about this, so the Clan Molder Flesh Laboratory, and armors, and giving bonus to armor, and then you can recruit Gorich. That it's a very nice legendary hero. His starting army is quite cool, with a mutant Ratogre and another unit of Ratogre, and yes, I just love this campaign. Probably even if you are not that fond of Skaven, you will have a lot of fun playing with that. Now it's time to talk about the Tomb Kings. I love the Tomb Kings, and please, Creative Assembly, give us a new campaign with them, because they are just amazing. And yeah, but they need some little additions, some little integration, a little rework of the mechanics, and at that point they will be just perfect. Let's start with Cetra. Cetra is the greatest Tomb King. If you want to play the most basic campaign, it's probably the right choice. You are a little surrounded. You have Manfred here, then the Bretonian, and the Scarbrand. So you have to be careful about your moves. But if you take care of Manfred as soon as possible, it will be a little easier. All the other factions don't love you, but they don't hate you that much, so you are not in a very hard spot. All his mechanics even here are about building the Tomb King's great empire. You have a lot of melee infantry, then some chariots. Actually quite a basic, not that impressive starting army, but yes, it's nice if you want to play Tomb Kings for the first time. Then you have the Grand Hierophant Cathay. He's he's the more magic, so the faction focus. The focus on magic faction of this roster. It's nice. You have this. Even here the starting army is definitely not impressive. You start in the Nagaron. It's a very tight, narrow area, but you can decide if attack the Wood Elves, the Dwarfs. No one will hate you at the beginning, so you can really decide where and how to expand. This is definitely my least favorite. I mean, the one with Cetra probably didn't say, but it's very cool. I mean, I love it. This is what you expect from a Tom King's campaign. This one, no, I don't know. I really thought that they could have chose a different, maybe not a different starting location, but work a little better this area. Now we have Khalida. Khalida is definitely my favorite faction here. She's the great enemy of Neferata, even if in the end times they make peace. And yes, I'm looking forward to have Neferata in the game. When they will introduce Neferata, the first thing I will do is playing Khalida. So after all the time that she said that she wants the Neferata head, we will finally give to her. Now, what I like about her, it's her starting location. He doesn't have a unique mechanic, but yeah, it's very nice because you are here. It's very challenging. Okay, you have the dwarves, you have some vampire counts, then you have the Krogar that will attack you from the south, the dwarves from the west, and even Quick, the Skaven Lord from the north. So you really need your time to find your way to through the across the Badlands and the Southlands, and to reach and get an alliance with Cetra. But yeah, it's very challenging and simulated. That's why I love it. And at some point they can even attack you from Nurgle, or in general from the coast. His starting army has the Ushabti Great Bows that are one of the greatest units of this roster, and yes, she has mixed mechanics, so not as mixed faction effects, so nothing to say about that, and it's definitely my favorite. Now, Arkan the Black. This is another character that probably will be a little reworked in the future with the coming of Nagash, because it's a central character, probably central than all the others Tom Kings in the lore. In the end times lord. He has access to some units units of the Vampire Count's roster. You may decide if you like it or not. He's not a fan of Tom King, so basically you start in area when you have no allies. They will hate all of them. They will all of the people surrounding you. They will hate you, even your own brothers, the Tom Kings. So yeah, you have Bretonia, you have the Empire. They can attack you from the coast. You can decide what to do, and at the same time you don't have some urgency. No one will attack you that soon, and you have access to another army capacity at the beginning of the campaign. And this is an incredible bonus, guys, because you can create pillow shield army made only of very, very low tier units, paying nothing. You know how mechanics of the Tom Kings works. So yes, it can be very challenging, and actually is the more variety, the more exotic campaign of this faction. So yeah, I really suggest you to play once you play with Cetra or Khalida. The Vampire Coast are another amazing faction that I really would like to get a DLC for them with the new lords, new units, because yeah, they have a huge potential, and their mechanics for me are some of the most funny, because you can just travel the world, looking for the other pirates and for treasures, and to unlock the various things of the campaign. You can establish the pirates' coves all around the world, and yes, I love them. Let's start with the Luthor Archon. He starts in Lustria. He has a safe location, in the meaning that you can secure this area and then expand more in the interior of Lustria, and attack the Empire, Bretonia, the Lizardmen, the Skaven. You have a good variety of enemies, and yes, All his things are about, I mean, I don't know what's about, just very various and mixed. His starting army looks big, but at the end they're just zombies, so don't rely that much on them. You have just a mortar and the animated hulks that, I mean, are good units. This is a night campaign, and this is definitely a nice character. Then we have Count Noctilus. If you want to bully high elves, this is the right lord for you, because you can just attack Ultuan, establish a cove, a pirate cove in each of their ports, and you will have so much money that you don't have to worry about your retirement anymore. The bad thing is that, yeah, basically you will attack only elves, but I mean, at the end you can decide where to go. You're a pirate, and your headquarter is probably the safest in all the game, because even Tyrion, that is the closest legendary lords to you, will never think of attacking you. I mean, it will do it just if it's in a very great war and it doesn't have other enemies, but yeah, I mean, just don't worry about that. You can do whatever you feel, whatever you want, and yes, this is nice for this reason. Even here, his mechanics are, yeah, very, you know, probably about creating the best vampire coast fleet, so bonus to the upkeep, to the recruitment duration, to the horde recruitment, and so on. Aranessa, I think that she's my favorite campaign here. Many people dislike her, but I don't know. You have a good, sorry, I didn't mention the Necrophax Colossus in the Noctilus army. Yeah, talking about Aranessa, you have a very good starting army with these pirates that are not zombies, are just pirates, and then you have the deck gunners and a unit of rotting Prometheans. I mean, it's very nice, and honestly I love his starting location, because from here she can attack the Beastmen, she can go inside you know, the Badlands and attack Greenskins and Empire. She can go to Bretonia, that it's what I do most of times, and yeah, it's very versatile, very flexible. And yeah, her lords things are just about raiding and sacking. She hates the Norsca for some reason, and yeah, quite like it. And yeah, she can recruit ogres and these pirates that are unique to her. And yes, you can have a little more varied campaign. Silostra, it's I think I played her just once, but just a little, because I really hated the character. I will be honest, I don't know who in Creative Assembly, that are very good people, I don't know who thought for one moment like he would be nice to have I mean, not the teen opera singer ghost in this game. I mean, I don't know if she's supposed to be scaring, fun, or okay, sorry, this is okay, just I was losing the focus. Her campaign starts in Nagar, in the south of Nagar, I mean almost southeast of Nagaron. The location can be cool because you will fight against the High Elves from both sides, the Tarogs, the Beastmen, then Dark Elves. Yeah, I mean, it offers probably a good campaign, and yeah, but I really don't like the lore. I really don't. I mean, okay, just let's move forward, please. Now it's finally time to talk about the factions of the first game, Total War Warhammer 1. That it was not one at the beginning, because we didn't know that a second and a third game would have come. Karl Franz, the campaign of Karl Franz, of course, witnessed many changes across the year, but we'll talk about its current state. Of course, he starts his campaign in the middle of the Empire, and thanks to the new mechanics, he really have the chance to unify all the elector counts under the same flag. And it's very nice, I mean, to move around and be the, you know, the big brother of the other elector counts and help them with all their troubles, issues, and hard situation. You have a good army with, I mean, to start with, the Race Guard, the Caribou Great Sword, that it's, I mean, it's a particular unit stat, because it's from the elector count. No, maybe. Yeah. I think yes, and then the mortars, and yes, you have, as I said, all the faction effects, lord effects are around building an empire, and his starting position is probably one of the best part of this campaign, because I mean, first Rakeland, it's very nice because there are many settlements, so if you don't want to conquer them, you know, in the first turns, you can just play around, and yes, we have many settlements close to Altdorf, and yeah, you can even play in a more destructive way, like I did in one video, if you want to watch. And yeah, it's very funny, and yeah, it's the classic campaign and the most beloved from the community, so you have to try it at least once. Now, Balthasar Gelt. I don't like his starting location, his new starting location. Of course, he can get back to the Empire, but I mean, these things in Grand Cathay is useless, because I mean, I had fun when I was fighting against Zhao Ming. Okay, in that case, yes, because you are playing in a different way that Creative Assembly didn't expect probably, but just following the rules. So go down in this way of Grand Cathay, and then, you know, conquer the last settlements and decide if going or not to the Empire. For me, just a boring choice. So the mechanics, his unique mechanics of I mean, around magic, it's very cool. I love it because you can recruit different wizards and get to them very particular abilities, both in the battle and in the campaign. The starting army is okay, and the Hellstorm Rocket Battery is a huge card to play. And yes, I like this campaign, but as I said, you have to play it wisely and you don't have to follow the rules. Marcus Wolfart, it's definitely my favorite campaign here. No, my second favorite in the Empire. I mean, every faction of the Empire is my favorite, actually. Maybe not Balthasar. And Marcus Wolfart starts in Austria, and it's a very different starting location from the other legendary lords. And yeah, you can have fun with attacking your own allies. So Bretonia and the Jade Dragon, that is what I actually do, or just hit Mazzamundi, the Skaven, other Lizardmen, the Vampire Coast. I mean, you have a lot of variety, and its mechanics of traveling around Austria to win the game, and then recruit the units, but with I mean, in a particular way. For me, it's very challenging, funny, and then I quite love the character. He has an amazing starting army full of archers and with the war wagons, and that I mean, many people say that it's a very nice unit. I would like to say the same, but I'm sorry. And yes, so all the mechanics are around this traveling and exploring Austria to get this legendary, I mean, not legendary, but unique heroes, and I had always a lot of fun with him, and he's definitely one of my favorite. Volkmar the Grim is another good lord. He has a mechanics that, in my opinion, it's I mean, it's more a mini game, it's not something actually that worthy. The campaign is nice because it's the starting location in the Badlands. It's cool. Before it was starting, Total War Warhammer 2 was starting again in the Empire. Finally, they gave him, you know, a unique location to start with. And yes, you're surrounded by vampires, by Tompkins, Greenskins, Lizardmen. So you can really, you know, cleanse the lands from the corruption, like our dear Volkmar is supposed to do. The starting army, it's great, and it's great because you will fight against very powerful enemies, and yes, nothing that's special about his faction effects. They're just they're very mixed, and yeah, it's a nice campaign if you want to play something a little more different from the Empire in the Empire gameplay. And at the end we have Elspeth von Draken. You have to buy DLC to play with her. I mean, like for Marcus, maybe I didn't mention that, even Volkmar, I mean everyone here. And oh, there is a missing spot. Who's gonna be there? Okay, Elspeth von Draken. Elspeth von Draken is definitely my best, my most favorite campaign here in the Empire, but her starting location is again awful. I mean, it's not awful, it's just too close to Rickland. That's why in my gameplays, and I even show it to you in one video, I attack Karl Franz. This is the most funny things to do, because you can just take his place in, believe me, a couple of turns, and even yeah, at turn 1, no, sorry, at turn 2, and then you can start this amazing campaign fighting against everyone from the Empire and from outside the Empire. I mean, the humans, the Empire of Man, and from the other factions. I had a lot of fun, and the best thing about, but yeah, the starting location, just you're here, and once you fought against once you fight against your vampire counts, then you don't know what to do. I mean, you have to cross big lands to reach the Greenskins, the vampire counts, the Warriors of Chaos, and so on. So really bad starting location, but lawful. She has, of course, she upgrade and she buff all the missile units and the gunpowder units and magic. And at the same time, she has these very amazing mechanics when she can upgrade and recruit some unique missile units that are both missile and both magical, that are very nice. I made a short describing each of them, and yeah, it's my favorite campaign. You can really bring the destruction to the world with your magical gunpowder, and we all love it. Completely worthy to buy the DLC, even just for the Marienburg class landship. It's Dwarf playtime. Dwarfs is a faction that I really didn't enjoy playing till Thrones of Decay DLC. When they changed a little their mechanics, they had new more units, and when they introduced the deep mechanics in a patch later, they became one of my favorite faction. And now I played the 3 campaigns of them in a row, once after the release of the deep mechanics, because I just love that stuff. Let's start with Thorgrim. I played recently a campaign with him actually. It starts here in between the Empire, the Badlands and the Darklands. It's a very good starting location because you're safe in your fortress, but you can decide where to expand. So you can play this campaign multiple times. You can go to the Darklands and you will defeat Skarsnik. It's not that hard, and then go to the Darklands or going to the Badlands. You can decide to attack the Empire because you're a bad guy. And yes, all his faction effects and everything are about building the Dwarf Empire, like every, we can say, leader of the lords. And so yeah, for the recruitment, for the keep, for the diplomacy and so on, his starting army is definitely fine. All dwarfs are fine, and you have even some Giro Bomber, so what do you want more? I like to play them. I think I can suggest it as a first dwarfs campaign. And yeah, Ungrim. Ungrim is the faction more focused on Slayers. So if you want to go deep into the Slayers, all the Slayers units and so on, this is the perfect lord. He starts in the, I think this is still the Ward Edge Mountain, yes, and even from here you can decide if going to the Darklands or going to the Empire, attack the Greenskins all over the mountains. And yeah, it's a powerful legendary lords with a powerful faction. He offers a good variety. As I said, all these effects are revolves around the Slayers, and an amazing starting army, just because there are a couple of Slayers that are more than enough to deal with any army, any monstrous army. And yes, it's not my favorite campaign, but you will have, of course, fun. Belgar Ironhammer. This is you have to buy DLC for this campaign, and at the time of Total War Warhammer 3, I don't know if I should suggest you. You can get access to a couple of new units, but they are not that unique compared to the one to the last DLC of Thrones of Decay with the Malachi. Now, you will have, it's a challenging campaign because you start in a quite weird location, but it's safe and dangerous at the same time. Depends how you build your diplomatic relationship. And at the beginning you will have a plus 50 of upkeep for all your units, and this can be a problem. So if you want to win the campaign, you don't have to go to the north where the game actually push you to do, but you have to cross the Badlands and reach Karakate Peak, that it's around here. I'm quite sure. I've never been sure when I make a video. And yes, you have to do like that. And yeah, it's a challenging campaign, and it's a nice character, but yeah, nothing that special, especially since you have to buy the DLC. Grombindal, I love it. This is a very peculiar lord, but yeah, even here his ability are not that special. He has a good starting army with Giro Bomber, Brimstone guns, flamethrowers, and still hammers. What is nice about him is that he starts in Nagorok, and you can just bully the Dark Elves as much as you want. This is the most funny part. Then you can go to Beastmen, to the Chaos Wasters, and probably is the yes, the campaign that I enjoy the most because of the enemies you will fight against. And yeah, this is a very cool one. It's for free, so don't worry about it. He has some effects that just helps the units overall, and yeah, and he hates helps apparently, but yeah, especially dark elves, not the high helps. Now we have the Thoric Iron Brow. Yeah, okay. It starts in the Southlands. I mean, close to the Badlands. Even him, he has a safe location because everyone will try to not attack you in the early campaign, but yeah, you can decide where to go. And yeah, you are not in a very you're defended, but you have to be careful because you have 3 sides, and one is attacked by Scarbrand, the other from Khalida, and the other from whoever wants. And yeah, it's a funny campaign. I like it. All the effects are about runes, because this is the kind of magical, it's not magic in the lore, but we can say the magical lord. He has a nice starting army with a catapult and iron breakers. This unit will survive till the end of the campaign, you can believe me. And yeah, it's nice. And all this legend, the dwarves, I think they are the faction the best worked in this game, because they have whole very good starting location. They offer an incredible variety, so yeah, you will have a lot of fun with any faction. Malachi, you have to buy a DLC for him, and it's a worthy DLC in my opinion, for the units, for the Thunder Birch, and for the unique campaign and the mechanics. The starting location, it's a little weird, but at the same time you are a traveling legendary lords. You will not have the teleportability, but you will see, you can travel around, and yes, so it's not that important, but of course you have to keep some fortresses safe to to get access to the money, and probably is the best lord to use the deep mechanics, because you will find hard to get many settlements, because you will be surrounded by enemies. You have these mechanics when you can do a lot of challenges for any artillery and machine piece of your roster, and this is one of the best mechanics of all the game, I think. And the abilities that they grant are very powerful. You will have you will start your campaign with Gotrek and Felix, these unique legendary heroes, and yes, say that you will have, as I say, a lot of abilities, a lot of stuff, a lot of bonuses to your missile, gunpowder, artillery, and war machines, helicopters units, and yeah, it's definitely a lot of fun and worthy to buy the DLC. Let's talk a little about Greenskins. Greenskins are a good faction, but I don't know why I don't have a good feeling with them. I think mostly because they are more funny than scaring. When I want to, if I expect to play with a Greenskins faction, I would like them to be more, dreadful for real. But yeah, I just find them funny. Look at Wurzak. It's definitely not scaring. But say that they are an incredible faction with a lot of mechanics that many people dislike, or they think that can get a rework, and they are sad that they didn't get any rework with the last DLC. But I genuinely think that they are in a good state, and between the scraps mechanics and all the stuff, they're definitely funny. Gringor is the most basic campaign, even if his starting location probably is not the most basic campaign anymore, because yeah, he's in this starting location between Kolek, close to Tamurkhan, close to Chaos Dwarfs, the Mountains of Morn, full of Ogre, the Chaos Dwarfs in the Darklands, so you can really enjoy whichever you prefer, and then you're a very powerful faction, so they will be scared to attack you. His starting army is not that impressive, but you have a Black Horse great weapon and a Doom Diver catapults that are 2 very nice units. And yeah, even here his all his effects are around fighting the replenish some ability, and yeah, help for boosting your your economy, your upkeep, and everything. And of course orcs, because it's a big black orc. And yeah, it's not my favorite campaign definitely, but I mean, if you want to have fun, you will have fun. Azak the Slaughter, this is a nice one. You start in the World's Edge World Edge Mountain, and you can decide where to go, if going to the Darklands, to the Empire, to Kislev. So a lot of, it's very flexible as a lord. His mechanics are more about magical. So yeah, remember, every lord has every faction has a lord more specialized in combat, so a lord more specialized in leadership, and a lord more specialized in magic. It's always like that. The starting army even here is not that impressive, but you have a troll, some catapult, a lot of orc, and yeah, it's nice. It's of course worth it to give a try, and it's free with the game, so yeah, just do it. Skarsnik. Skarsnik is the legendary lords more focused on goblins. You cannot recruit orcs till you capture Karakate Peaks, and honestly, after the release of Omens of Destruction, the first thing I did was playing with Skarsnik, because I knew that it was the right time to play only goblins and squig campaign, and I had a lot of fun. It was amazing. I love to focus only on goblins, even because now the roster of Greenskins is very expanded, so you know, it's better just to get a break and to focus on just on a part of the roster and get specialized on that. So, since I say that, you will have a lot of bonus to goblins, night goblins, squigs, and yeah, so don't worry about that. You will have a lot of fun even if you will use half of the roster. He's not the best, the most powerful faction, that's why it will be more challenging, more stimulating. You will have a lot of trouble with Thorgrim, but when at the end you will you know, take care of him, it will be a great satisfaction, and then you can expand to the Badlands, to the Empire, to the Darklands. I can say that probably is my favorite campaign here for the starting location, so yeah, if you are already an expert player about Greenskins, you will have fun. Wardzag, as I say, I'm sorry to say, this is a magical focus lords, and they specialize on the savage orcs. That, I mean, there are many units of savage orcs in this game, and to recruit them you need the special buildings, and Wardzang will have easy access to them. So if you want to, you know, focus on this category of Greenskins units, this is the right campaign. The faction effects are about that. The starting location is new, they just changed it. It is in the Southlands, in the middle. You don't have imminent dangers, but there are many legendary lords that you can you know, deal business, you can make business, I mean war business with. So it's a funny starting location, and his army has a giant that if you keep it safe, it can be a very dangerous unit, and yeah, I really don't like the fact that he's dancing. I know that many of you love it, but I mean, why that? Why that? I mean, we already get the Mask of Slaanesh. Why even this? Okay, Grom the Paunch. It's you need a DLC to play. I mean, like Skarsnik. Sorry, I always forget to say. Grom the Paunch. You need a DLC to play with that, with him, and for me it's worth it, even because you get the rogue idol, some kinds of trolls, and the pump wagons. That for me, all of these three categories are very cool additions. So I really suggest you to buy this DLC if you are Greenskin players. And even here he has mixed faction effects, but he has some mechanics that it's quite similar to the Nurgle one. You can give I mean, even to Mother of Stankia now, you can give these buffs to your units, some abilities, yeah, basically cooking things. This is I really enjoyed these mechanics when it was released. Your starting army is good, and you will start in Bretonia. So if you want to bully Bretonian knights, Bretonian peasants, or just Bretonia, this is the right campaign for you. I love to play this, and yeah, it's a very crowdy and full of you know, resources. I mean, meat resources and land. So yeah, you will definitely have a lot of fun, and then you can expand to the Ultuan or to the Empire. You can secure the, you know, the barrier walls here, or attack you know, to the south. You have many different options, and yeah, it can offer probably the most variety in this faction. At the end we have Corpat, Iron Claw. This is another DLC that you have to buy if you want to play with him. He has probably some of the worst mechanics in the game. I don't want to even mention because I have a feeling that at some point Creative Assembly will change them, will rework them. But yeah, if you want to play this lord for the mechanics, just don't do it. And he has a nice starting army, yeah, nothing to say. He starts in at the north of the Badlands. That was the previous starting location of Wurzak. So if before you can get a very good starting location for free, now you have to pay another DLC for that. I mean, nice choice. In any case, he was more supposed to be here, and yeah, in this way they give more I mean, they follow the lore, so good for that. And yeah, the starting location is good, but it's not that different from Skarsnik when you take care of Thorgrim. So yeah, but you can still invade the Empire, or you can go down to the Southlands. You have your option, and it can be funny. But as I said, if you want to buy this DLC for the units, you will have the Mangler Squig, the Colossal Squig, and some other stuff that it's definitely nice. But for the campaign itself, I'm not sure. Now let's talk about the Vampire Counts. This is another good faction in my opinion. They have still a lot of potential, and probably with a little rework and a new Neferata faction, they will be in an amazing state. I love them. Now let's start with Manfred. Manfred starts in the middle of between the Southlands and the Badlands. It's a very nice position, surrounded by many different variety of praise, and it's a very powerful faction. Even if you don't have the best starting army, but I mean you have still the Vargheists that are funny. And yes, he has these mechanics linked to the books of Nagash that it's more like mini game. I mean, is not that impressive. And yeah, very mixed faction effects, and yeah, if you want to play, probably it's not the most suggest. It's more challenging than Vlad, probably, because yeah, when you start in Sylvania, it's everything easier and different at least. But yeah, it's challenging, but you can have a lot of fun. Probably is the funnest campaign here. When we have Heinrich Kemmler that starts in Bretonia, this was a legendary lord that I liked particularly because you can summon a lot of zombies, and yeah, the Bretonia it's a good starting location, but yeah, I mean, you have to know that Bretonian can be particularly harsh against Vampire Counts, so you have to work a lot with strategy. That's why it's quite stimulating, and I like it. And yeah, in any case, you have to be very careful because you will be surrounded by enemies. But you will have the Red Duke also to help you. His starting army, it's good. You have this ghost, the X-Wraiths, and the Chain Wraith. That they're ghosts that they will help you a lot in the early campaign. I mean, you will most usually use these two for the first 10 turns. And yes, it's a fun. Even here doesn't have particular specific factions effects, but it's a nice lord to play. But you need to buy. No, sorry, it's for free. It's for free. Vlad Vorkastein and even Isabella, it doesn't change a lot, just probably a little of the faction effect, but yeah, they will both start even with the same army. Yes, they will both start in the Sylvania. This is the classic Vampire Counts location. Before, all the legendary lords were starting here except Kemmler. Yeah, I mean, it's a funny location, and here it's safe. You will not have big enemies in the early campaign, but at some point, of course, Karl Franz and Elspeth will attack you, or even Draika, Kislev. But yeah, in the very early campaign, you really have no problem. Maybe Ungrim. Yeah, maybe Ungrim, but except that, and actually Vampire Counts can perform quite well against Ungrim if you have the right magic. The right spells. So it's a nice campaign, and yeah, if you are a beginner with the Vampire Counts, I probably suggest to play this as the first, and it's for free. I mean, you have to buy, of course, the game, but yeah, it's for free. Hellman Gorst, this is, as you know, a very special legendary lords, because it's a very, very minor character in the lore, but he came into the he went through to the game. I mean, he reached the game, and yeah, it's funny. It's a very powerful faction when you play against. Even here he has I mean, doesn't, I mean, it's more focused on zombies and things like that, regeneration and so on. He has I mean, a big army with a couple of crypt horrors and a black coach. He's a nice legendary lord, and yeah, you can decide if going to the Mountains of Morn, but there are Ogre Kingdoms that can be tough for your skeletons and zombies. There is Kugat Blackfather, then the Grand Cathay. My perfect choice would be to defend this area from Kugat and attack and conquer the Grand Cathay, because it's very funny to deal with the Empire now and with the Grand Cathay's army. I mean, it's yeah, I mean, you can really have the dream of your zombie invasion in China. Now the Beastmen. The Beastmen are another nice faction if you like a more offensive horde mode. Otherwise, yeah, they're not that special. I didn't play that much with them, I have to be honest with you, but yeah, the first lord is Khadrak the One Eye. He starts in the Empire, and if you want to bring destruction all around the Empire, this is a very nice campaign. The position is very you know, in the middle of many stuff, so you can have a lot of fun just to expand. Honestly, when it's the AI playing with it, it's I mean, most of times it just get annihilated very fast in the campaign, but yeah, it's a funny legendary lord. You hits more the, yeah, vanguard, stalk, ambush lords of the faction. The starting army, it's nice. I mean, a little big. You have the Minotaurs with the double axes that can help against the Empire infantry, and yeah, overall it's very nice for the starting location. Now we have Malagor, the Dark Omen. This is probably my favorite character of the Beastmen lords. He starts in a okay, it's a weird location because, as you can see, you will have a tough time moving around that specific area. When you will play it, you will understand what I mean. You will have Scarbrand that, I mean, I would not suggest to deal with him in your early campaign. You have to wait a lot to deal with the Scarbrand, and yeah, you can play against the Greenskins and some zombies, some Tomb Kings. Just, you know, do your job, be careful of Scarbrand, and it will be funny. I prefer more him as a character than as a campaign, but yes, even here all the effects are very mixed, so nothing to say. And yeah, you need just the Beastman DLC to play with him. Morgur the Shadow Gave, I honestly never played with him. I have to be honest. I don't want to pretend. He's probably the least interesting. Sorry, my voice is going away. Starting location, because yeah, it's here in the middle of nothing. You can attack Ikit Claw. Okay, wait. Okay, I lost my voice. I need a little break, but yeah, I never play with him, so I just don't want to spam many words. Yeah, I think it's very not interesting because yeah, you're surrounded by nothing. But yeah, maybe you can expand it to Bretonia or towards Ikit Claw. Just I mean, choose. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. About Tarox, I can say that it's a very funny campaign because you start in the middle of Nagaron, so you can attack all the Dark Elves I want, and in my opinion Dark Elves are the best faction to play against. They are so funny to hit, and especially Malekith. When with Taurox you charge Malekith, I don't know why, I feel so satisfying to do that. And yeah, you can play around against Dark Elves, Wood Elves, Tomb Kings, Dwarfs, High Elves, against here Vampire Coast. I mean, you're in the middle of everything, and yeah, this is the best campaign of Beastmen. And then Taurox is a very funny character to use. You will have a lot of Minotaurs in your starting army, and I don't know, I mean, it's already powerful alone. I don't know why give to him so many Minotaurs. And yeah, it's one of the easiest campaign. Here you need to buy the DLC, the Silence of the Fury, to play with him. Is it worthy? Probably yes, because you will have also the Gorgon and the Jabber's Light that are two very good looking and amazing monsters. And yes, you have just to ravage around, destroy everything, and what a Minotaur, a brass Minotaur you expect to do. Norsca, it's another faction that I'm recording this video before Friday, so I don't know if you know, if they would have announced on Friday a new faction for High Elves of Norsca. Who knows, but yeah, in the current state, I played recently with the Wolfric and I loved it. Honestly, I like Norsca campaign. There are some twisted, very needy that I mean, we should go more into the specific in another video, but yes. Anyway, you have just to conquer all the other Norscan tribes, and then you can really decide what to do, if attacking the Chaos Wastes or the coast of the Empire of Kislev. So yeah, it's a very easy campaign. You have really no dangers, no legendary lords pointing the finger to you. So yeah, just don't worry, play it easy and decide where to expand. Remember that I mean, Norsca relies mostly on ports for its economy, so just conquer all the coast around and then decide where to attack. His starting army has a mammoth, a feral mammoth, that can be your pet for the rest of the campaign. And yes, nothing to say neither about his faction effects. And Trog is the Lord of Trolls, and I really would like to get a mechanics where he can recruit all the trolls of the game, even because now, I mean, he's the Lord of Trolls, but he get access to just 2 units of trolls, and there are many. There are the Bile Trolls, the River Trolls, the Stone Trolls, I mean, there can be even more trolls. And yes, it's actually very, I mean, you will have some bonuses to trolls, of course. You start here, but at the end, for me, Norsca, it's all the same. You can decide if expanding to Norsca or attack directly the Chaos Wastes, or maybe go through Kislev. You can decide if align with Wolfric or be against him. Yeah, probably in this campaign compared to Wolfric, you have more variety, but honestly, when I play Wolfric, I just go, you know, towards Trog. I beat him, so I confederate with him, you know, the Force Confederation when you beat another Norsca legendary lords, and then I do, I mean, whatever you want. So for me are just the same campaign, just from a little different angulation. Now let's talk about Wood Elves. You need a DLC to play Wood Elves, and then another DLC to play Sister to like. I don't know for Trike, because in Total War Warhammer 2 you needed the 2 DLC, but okay, it's not important. Orion, sorry. I always call it Orion, then I found out its name is Orion. Okay, he's the great master of the Wood Elves. He has these unique mechanics that I thought that it could be cooler, but it's not. It just gives you some bonus. You start in the middle of Bretonia, and I mean, I don't think it's the more interesting location, and it's said that 2 legendary lords start here because it's both Orion and Durtu. So yes, and yeah, the starting army is nothing that special, but you have the wild, I mean, no, you have nothing special. Nothing special. And yeah, you have very mixed faction effects, and yeah, honestly, I don't like this campaign because yeah, it's starting here in Bretonia, and yeah, it's very hard, even if you want to reach dwarves or going around, but you have to you know, I mean, in general with Wood Elves you can change the location. You can you know, with their mechanics of teleporting in the other mother trees. So yeah, it doesn't matter that much the starting location, but if we have to, I mean, decide which campaign to do just according to that, definitely is not my best. And this is the same for Durtu, that I mean, they both start here, so it's just the same. You will have, in this case, you will have another kind of ability to boost your treemen and I mean, all the things linked to trees. And yeah, it's a funny lord, it's good looking, but yeah, for me these 2 are just the same, and yeah, you take them with the same DLC, so it just doesn't matter. And remember, yeah, I think you can you can definitely confederate with them even through some missions. So yeah, playing one or the other, it's just the same. Just have a look at the bonus and decide if you want to focus more on the treemen and the magical stuff, or in the weapon strength for cavalry, charging, upkeep, and so on. Now let's talk about the Sister of the Twilight. This is one of the campaigns I played most and enjoyed most. It's definitely my top 5 campaigns. I played probably 6 times and I never get once even in a row. I just finished the campaign and I started the game, and yeah, it was the first to offer the thing in in Total War Warhammer 2 to move around and teleport in the different trees, and yeah, just amazing. You can establish your different mother trees in all around the world. I mean, from Cathay to Austria, to the old one, to the Empire. So yeah, you will have a lot of fun with that. They have these mechanics when they can get this unique weaponry through this little mission. I mean, not mission. I mean, more stuff you have to do in general. Of course, they boost flying units and missile units. This is important. This is very important. The Oak Riders get access to the very strong ability that is a magical missiles that can be upgraded to 2. I don't remember if via technology or with her skill trees. And you will have already a couple of Oak Riders, so you will see how strong they are with this particular ability. So they are very cool character. I mean, 2 girls, 2 archers with a missile arrow that is basically an artillery shot, and they are 2 sisters, and they red dragon. So one of the best character here. And at the end we have Draika. This is a very exotic campaign because you will not recruit a lot of wood elves because you have a little of upkeep, but you will recruit more dryads, treemans, and then she will have access to this little roster of beasts and monsters from the Empire area. And yeah, as I said, a very specific campaign, so it's not the purest wood elves experience. So if you want to experiment more, you want to try something different, it can be a cool one. If you see her starting army is made only of dryads and the malevolent, treemen and treekin, and so yeah, you're probably supposed to build armies only of trees. And of course all the boosts are about trees and dryads and so on. So yeah, if you want to play something more exotic, Drika. Otherwise, I really suggest you play Sister to Allies, and you will have a lot of fun with them. Let's start with the Tsarina Catherine, yes, Queen of Kislev. This is one of my favorite campaigns ever. I played probably 7 or 8 times and I always had a lot of fun. First because you start in a very funny area. You are between the Empire and the Chaos Wastes. Many people say that this is actually a hard starting location, but I don't think so. It's just there is just a couple of legendary lords so you have to take care as soon as possible. I'm talking about Trot the Unclean, starting at the north of Prague, that he will attack you, and very early in the campaign, and he has a powerful faction, that's why he can be dangerous. And then there is Azak the Slaughter, that he starts in the northern wards Edge Mountains, that it's a little in the south of Kislev. This, he will not attack you very early, but sooner or later he will do it. And in most of cases the problem is that you are not prepared because you're not covering the south. But if you always keep an army in this area, it will not be a trouble. But once you take care of these 2 legendary lords, the game gets quite easy in a good way. You can decide where to expand. You can annoy your allies in the Empire, or expand and invade the Norsca, the Chaos Wastes, and with the new mechanics you are allowed to enter these climates. Now, about your starting army, you have a couple of units very strong, especially in the early campaign. I'm talking first about the Snow Leopard, of course not. I'm talking about the Winged Lancers that are armored shock cavalry, that especially in the early campaign it can be quite useful because the enemy armies will be quite weak, and this charging wagon of strength can destroy everything. And then you have the Ice Guard, that is a very elite infantry that you will unlock very later in your campaign, so be wise and keep it safe for as much as possible. About the campaign, you don't have very unique mechanics, you have just the cool mechanics of Kislev that after the last patch are very good in my opinion. You will enjoy this campaign and it quite represented the essence of this game. Now, let's talk about Constantine, the Supreme Patriarch of Kislev. This is a character that when they announced he was the second legendary lord of Kislev, I was not amused, I was not excited, but when I realized that it was kinda like playing with Rasputin, the Russian historical character, I say, you know, it can be cool and I will give him a try. And it's funny, in the Realm of Chaos it's a hard campaign, but in Immortal Empires I found it quite easy. You have Azazel in the north that is not even supposed to attack you, and then Norsca that will attack you, but not very soon, so you have time to get ready. You have Trot that can be a trouble, but yeah, I mean, you're in a quite safe area. You don't have some imminent urgent enemy. You can decide in which direction to go, but of course you have to defend Kislev. About his campaigns, first the starting army. You have a couple of stealthy that, you will have problem because Kislev is not that plain and, you know, stealthy, and in general, handgunner units can have problem if the land is not that plain. And then you have a light war sled, that this is another powerful unit that you will be able to recruit just with an advanced military building, so you have to wait a little time, so it's better to keep it safe. And yeah, it doesn't have some specific mechanics, but the good old mechanics of Kislev, and even the new ones of Kislev. What I have to say is that with this lord, between this and Catherine, I probably prefer Catherine. But if you like more the gameplay of, you know, this, how can I say it, more about cossers and weak units, you know, it can be a very interesting campaign, and I would suggest to try after Catherine. Now we have the good old Boris Ursus. Finally, you can have access to this campaign even if you don't complete the mission with Catherine or Constantine, and this is good. You start in a different position compared to the other two legendary lords, but not that far. You're in the Chaos Wastes, and this is probably one of the hardest campaign I ever played. Even Legend of Total War suggests to go back to Kislev and then expand your campaign from them, but I want to be a hard player, so I continue in his starting location, and you will have a lot of trouble. Now there is even Arbol, then there is Archon, there is the Demon Prince, there is a little more far Epidemius, there is everyone around you, and they are all very strong legendary lords with very strong faction, and you will be just undefended. You have a couple of Warbears Rider that will save your, I don't want to say what, but they will save you in multiple locations in the early campaign. These are very elite units. You will take a very long time to recruit, so keep them with you and you will be safer. Even here you don't have some special mechanics. Probably you have less mechanics than Catherine and Constantine, but if you want the challenge, if you want a very hard campaign, even if in easy difficulty, this is the right choice for you. I like it. I have to say that I like it, but yeah, you have to, you know, play hard, be careful about everything, because remember, every choice is important, and please, or take care of Archon as soon as possible, or don't take care of him till the end, but you have to choose the strategy, because in the middle he will just destroy you very easily. And then we have finally Mother Ostenkia. That she's in a very interesting position. I can say that many people are not happy that she's not in Kislev, and actually with the new mechanic of the last patch, she has the chance to teleport to Kislev when she please. But I enjoyed her campaign in the Nurgle. She offered this very different starting location from the other legendary lords, and yeah, you can have fun against Moratti, you can attack the Elves, you can attack Mazzamundi. There are many different choices. The imminent dangers are of course the Elves, the Dark Elves all around you, but once you take care of them, you are free to expand in which direction you prefer. I mean, it's important in this case to mention her mechanics. She has this unique mechanics when she can create some vials, some potion to get bonus, to get buffs to your units and the buffs to your enemies. That it's quite redundant and repetitive in the long term, but in the early mid campaign you will probably have fun with that. And if you choose carefully which which curse or which bonus to give to your units or the enemy units, like okay, this is a cavalry, so I will reduce the speed, or things like that. These kind of strategies can be very stimulating. About her starting army, she has an elemental, an incarnate elemental of beast that it's a very high tier, 5th tier unit. So yeah, you're lucky to get it at the beginning, even because in the early campaign you will have just monsters. If you decide to stay in Nagaron, you will have just monsters and Kossars and Kislev warriors. So it's very important to have this very strong unit in your army. And you cannot recruit the generic Kislev units till you get an alliance, or you conquer with an alliance with the Kislev faction, or you conquer one of the 3 most important cities of Kislev. And this can be a little annoying, but in my opinion you have to choose to play this lord if you really want to enjoy a different experience from Kislev, even because you will not have access to all the other Kislev mechanics. So if you want to play more about monsters, witches, and a more exotic campaign, this can be the right choice for you. Now let's travel to the Grand Cathay, and let's start with the Miao Ying. Miao Ying is one of my favorite characters because she has an amazing personality. All the things she says in the battlefield, she's a little narcissistic, have to say that. She starts in the north of Grand Cathay, and her main responsibility will be to keep her lands safe from the Chaos faction that will attack you from the north. They will try to cross the Great Bastion, and you have first to conquer all the Great Bastions, or at least to make the right alliance, because you will have problems even inside the Grand Cathay. There will be your brother helping with that, but there will be the Death Master, there will be a Lokerfelheart and some Tzeentch around, so you have to be careful from the inside and from the outside. This is a challenging campaign. She doesn't offer, even in this case, she doesn't offer unique mechanics, just the Cathay mechanics that, in my opinion, they are good and cool. And I like it. I like her a lot. You have the Celestial Dragon crossbows that are a very elite missile infantry in your starting army. They are very, very strong, believe me. And then the Sky Junk. This is an flying artillery piece. Even that you will take a little to recruit it. No, not a little, a very long time to recruit it in your campaign. So keep it safe, even because it's a flying artillery, and it will be in trouble in multiple occasions. About her faction effects and lord effects, just remember that compared to her brother, she will give more bonuses to the missile units of the game, and then she will be stronger against the Chaos factions. Now let's move to Zhao Ming, the Iron Dragon. You start a little more in the south. This is it's not a very hard position. You have Balthasar in the south after one of the last patches that will cover you from problems, and you don't have actually legendary lords to be careful. There is just the Death Master Sneak, but it will take a little to fight with him, so you can just have fun expanding around. And I like this campaign. It's not that challenging and stimulating like Miao Ying, but he can be good. He has some bonuses for the melee units, both the upkeep and for his army, and the armor for all the other melee units of every of your army, not just the Lord army. You will have more bonuses with the Ogre Kingdoms. This is important for the lore because in the lore he has a strong bond with Grisus gold tooth, but yeah, that's why it's probably better to not attack him, but you can do it, why not? You will not have many chances about where to expand. Grand Cathay, it's now not, I mean, it's a little boring in the long term, but yeah, hopefully with the new DLCs they will start to, you know, to paint it a little with the new legendary lords, and it will be more funny. And at the end we have the Yambo. Yambo has one of my favorite campaigns, and I will explain you why. Because you have this double start location, one in the north of Austria and another in Grand Cathay. So you can both play a little in the Grand Cathay, so expand your territories and take care at the beginning against the vampires. Keep your lands safer from the vampires in the Grand Cathay, and in the Austria you can have a lot of fun with all the legendary lords that are there, and there are a lot. You can, when I play with him, I mean, I don't have allies. I go against Marcus, against Rakart, against Mazzamundi, and against everyone. Now you have even the School Taker, so you will have a lot of fun. He has these unique mechanics. I mean, in short, since it's the great administrator of Grand Cathay, he will have access to these mechanics where you can do some manipulation, some twists, like Tzeentch, but softer. In his starting army, he has the Jed Lion and the Great Logma Riders that can be quite useful in your early campaign, and he has this very peculiar effect that basically, if you start to ask trade agreements with all the other faction, their maps will be visible. So at some point, even in the mid campaign, if you want to, I mean, if you want to play more, you know, with allies, not like me, you really can have access to, you know, to view all the map of Immortal Empires and to control everything. That can be strong, but at the same time annoying, because there will be no mystery anymore. You will know who will be attacking you and so on. Say that, as I said, it's a very funny campaign. For his double start, I had a lot of fun in the 2-3 times that I played, and it's quite suggest. Now let's move to the Mono Gods, and let's start with Khorne and with Skarbrand the Exiled. The first campaign of Khorne, it starts in the Badlands, and this is very funny. I think that even now with the 2 legendary lords more is the funniest Khorne campaign, because yeah, you have everyone there. There is Cetra, there are the Bretonnian, there are the Tomb Kings, there are the vampires, the Greenskins, the Dwarfs. You can, and I mean, since it's a faction that has just to, you know, go around and attack settlements, army, you can really have a very varied gameplay. You can attack any different faction, and yeah, it can be quite stimulating and funny. That's why it's still my favorite. And you don't have a particular problem. I mean, old Khorne faction are quite easy actually. It's not challenging, but yeah, be careful about your few settlement. Remember, Khorne is not about conquering settlement, but you know, 1 or 2, you have to get them and to keep safe, because with so many enemies, they will find an easy way to attack you. About his faction, he's not very loved by Khorne, of course, and yeah, it doesn't offer some unique mechanics like the other 2, but I mean, overall you will have a lot of fun. And yes, in the starting army he has nothing special, because he's the specialty of the starting army, so don't worry about that. Even if it looks weak, with Skarbrand alone you can actually win most of the fights in your early campaign. Now let's talk about School Taker. School Taker is probably the campaign here that I had least fun with, but still I have fun. The problem that it starts in Lustria. That is a good area, but it's a little hard to travel around there because it's full of forest. You have plenty of enemies. There is Marcus, Alberic. Alberic, he can be quite strong against School Taker, so be careful. And then I mean, there are Skavens, there are Lizardmen, there is the Jade Dragon in the north. You will have a lot of fun, but yeah, traveling before the teleport mechanics can be not that good. There, the hits mechanic, it's a specific mechanic can be, I mean, it's funny, but honestly I would expected something more. But yeah, overall still a funny campaign. In his starting army he has the Blood Crusher of Khorne that are a half elite unit, and the Blood Beast of Khorne that is the new unit introduced with the new DLC, and it was my first time to experiment them, and I quite like it. As I said, I don't know if you have to, I mean, if you want to buy the DLC just to play this campaign, probably between Arbar and Skarbrand you will have a lot of fun already. But yeah, if you want to have access to the specific units of the DLC, it's probably a good option. Now Arbal the Undefeated. My second favorite campaign, even it's probably I mean, it's awesome, I admit it, because you have this teleporting, traveling mechanics when you can go all around the world and start to conquer there. You can just, you know, attack Ultuan in the very early campaign and establish your settlements there. And yeah, in his starting army he has the Skull Crusher of Khorne that can be good, but believe me, Arbal alone is one of the strongest things I have ever seen in this game, and there is Talmorkan, there is Archon, but Arbal is so annoying that alone he can take care of everything. Now with the, I mean, as I said, he starts here, but it's not important because, as I said, once you take care of the faction here, then I mean, you can just travel all around the world. You can decide if make enemies in your area. There will be Archon and Urboris and Astragot. Astragot, I don't know why he decided to attack me in my campaign, but yeah, you can even decide to play safe in this area and then just attack all around the world. I mean, yeah, you can have a lot of fun and a lot of variety. You just decide how to play this campaign, and yeah, that's why you can play once, but you can even play multiple times because it will be always new. Now let's move to Tzeentch. Tzeentch is one of my favorite factions that unfortunately I cannot play. I mean, I already played the Kairos Fate Weaver campaign like 10 times, so I just, I mean, I would like to get a new Legendary Lord to give me more variety, because the Changeling is a different case, but we're gonna talk later. Now, Kairos Fate Weaver. He starts in not the best, it's probably one of the hardest campaign here, because you are between Oxiatl that he's gonna do this marathon to you. Probably there will be some, yeah, maybe they will put a Legendary Lord of Slaanesh here in the southern Chaos Wastes, and then you have Teclis. And believe me, between the Teclis and the Nurgle unit, the Nurgle army here, and the Oxiatl, you will have a lot of problem. My trick here is just to attack Teclis as soon as possible, and then just later you can think about Oxiatl. But yeah, in this campaign the timing is essential, so do things as soon as things very fast. Take care fast of Teclis, otherwise it will be ruined, especially if you play in hard difficulty. The Kairos Fate Weaver campaign now has a unique mechanic, so I mean, it's not like Core. They decided to give the first Tzeentch Lord actually unique mechanic that I love so much. You can decide which spells to put in all your all your spells. You can decide, and you can improve that through the campaign. I played the last time with, very recently, because I want to test this new mechanic, and it's awesome. It's so cool. In your starting army you have a unit of Chaos Knights of Tzeentch that if you don't have the Champions of Chaos DLC, you will have only weak units in your roster, just a lot of Blue Horrors and then the Forsaken. So believe me, this is an outstanding unit here. And then you have the Exalted Flamer of Tzeentch that it's a powerhouse. He will throw these bombs of fire, and in the early game it will be very powerful compared to the other missile units of your enemies. But be careful about Teclis, because Teclis has a lot of archers, and archers are not good for flamers. Sorry. The campaign overall, as I said, is very funny and very challenging, so if you already play the game a lot and you know how to deal with things, it can be a very stimulating one, and I really suggest, even because it's the only Tzeentch campaign, so you have no other option. The Changeling. Actually, I don't think it's bad. The Changeling was one of the weirdest campaign I ever played, because at the beginning, when I started to play, I was like, oh my god, this is the best campaign ever. But, you know, turn over turn, when I reach already mid of the campaign, I was getting bored. Because at the end you have to attack a lot of settlements that are just undefended. It's not just the thing that is not challenging because you don't have enemies, because you can just hide wherever you want and, I mean, no one is gonna attack you. The big problem is that it's very repetitive and redundant. There is this very nice mechanic that is the grid schemes that I like it, but at the same time they kind of ruin your manipulation. If you want to run your own manipulation, you know, your personal manipulation, I wanted, for example, to you know, to decide which electoral counts to support and which not. But at the end, you know, I just complete the grid scheme and all the Empire faction were all against each other. So all my manipulation, you know, go to, I don't want to say where. And yeah, I mean, it depends. I probably have to give another try. It's not a bad campaign, but at the same time, I don't know, it's really not challenging. You have no enemies, no troubles, so it really gets boring very, very early. And you will have, of course, access to the shapeshift mechanics, so you can turn your legendary lord in any legendary lord and legendary hero that you will fight with. And even that, it's very nice, I have to admit it. It's very specific, very original, and yeah, it's worth it to try. Is it worth it to you know, to buy the Shadows of Change DLC for that? Probably yes, because Creative Assembly made an amazing job, and it's worth it to give a try. Slaanesh. Now, I don't know if it's I mean, a good idea talking about Slaanesh now, because in probably 3-4 months we will have a completely different perspective, because they will probably add some mechanics, there will be more legendary lords. What I can tell you that Slaanesh and Kari, it's one of the funnest campaign here in the game. I love it. You start in the ult one, and there is not much to say because you have just to attack elves all the time, but believe me, you don't get tired of fighting against elves. Then you can expand in Bretonnia, in Nagaron. I mean, you can decide. What is cool about Slaanesh in general is that you can subjugate all the other factions, so you can decide if expand and you know, turn the ult one in a Caust Waste, or just to subjugate all the high elves and you know, you play with them, have fun with them, use them in some way. Nurgle. When I played my first Nurgle campaign in Realm of Chaos, I just didn't have fun. Okay, the mechanics were weird, and I just didn't like them. So when they announced that there would have been a new legendary lord for Nurgle in the Thrones of Decay, I just say, okay, let's wait. I don't want to play another campaign, I just want to wait. And honestly, it was repaid, because when I arrived at Tamurkhan with all the reworked mechanics for Nurgle, I had a lot of fun. I had so much fun that I played with Epidemius, then with Tamurkhan, and then with Kugat, Plague Father in a row. And it never happened to me. The only time that it happened the same was with the Dwarfs, when they created the deep mechanics. But yeah, probably Nurgle is one of my favorite mechanics in the game. So let's start with Kugat. Kugat starts in the Dragon Islands. That's I mean, I accept that it's a weird location, but and that I remember that at the release of Immortal Empires, many people were kind of shocked by this starting location. But it's understandable, because it's a very tough guy to fight with, so if you put it in the middle of Cathay, he will be just the big enemy, the great enemy of Cathay. So making him start in the Dragon Island, you can give more breadth to the other legendary lords, and at the same time you can expand, you know, from these little islands inside the Cathay, or the Mountains of Morn, the Darklands. You have many different options. You will have some imminent dangers like Ghost of Drazogat, that they can be powerful if they focus their attention on you, but overall it's an easy campaign. You will not have a lot of trouble, and you can easily enjoy the Nurgle mechanics. You don't have some very special you know, units in your starting army, because I mean, you alone, Kugat alone, can take care of everything. And yes, this is a funny campaign, I suggest. And yeah, let's move to Epidemius first. Epidemius start in the Chaos Wastes, in the very northern Chaos Wastes. This is not a good starting location for me, I have to admit it. I didn't like that they chose this. I mean, this location. You are between the Malus, Malus Darkblade. Okay. Wait, I didn't remember the name. And the Demon Prince, and then Boris, and Sigvald. I mean, you're quite surrounded, and the problem is that the northern Chaos Wastes is, you know, it's a lot about pushing in one side or the other. You can try to expand towards Norsca, but believe me, the last thing you want if you are playing with hard settings in that location, it's having the Norsca, you know, sucking your settlements from the coast. I mean, you really give them an easy target, so it's better if you push from one side or to one side or to the other. So against Darkblade or the Demon Prince, just decide. But yeah, I really hope that at some point they can change its starting location, because there it's first very close to Tamurkhan, and the second, I mean, I think there could be better option for him. About he has this unique mechanic that it's linked to you know, to plug and everything. Nothing that special, but yeah, it's still a free legendary lords that I mean, they gave us for free, so quite cool. I like it. You have a couple of flies that now they are strong. When I played the Epidemius the first time, they were not, but they reworked them, and now they are dangerous. And an Exalted Plague Bearers of Nurgle, that even here it's quite an elite unit, so be careful with that. And yeah, about the faction effects and lord effects, I think the one most worthy to mention is, as I said, the rewards given with the numbers of plagues that you spread around. So the faction quite involved around that. If it's not for the starting location, I would have more fun with this legendary lord, but in any case, give him a try, because it can be funny. Now, Tamurkhan, the Maggot Lord. This is an insane powerful faction. Too powerful. This is too powerful. I think one of the, yeah, probably the army of Archon and Tamurkhan are the most scaring of all the game. When you are playing your campaign and you bump into Tamurkhan army, I mean, it's a huge problem. They should probably debuff his campaign and his superpowers. He has these very unique mechanics when he can recruit these chieftains, you know, chieftains of destruction, that they come from different other faction of the game, and with them you can recruit some units of these factions, like the Chaos Dwarfs, like the Beastmen, and yeah, all the campaign it's plays around these mechanics. That it's funny. In the map, even his starting location, I didn't appreciate it that much. If it's not that I had so much fun with the Nurgle mechanics, I probably would not enjoy it. You are between Archon and Kolek, so why to not attack Kolek? Archon, I tried with Archon, but believe me, it's too powerful, even in the early campaign. Probably, I don't know why I had, I mean, it was easier to fight and defeat Archon with Boris than Tamurkhan. Don't ask me why. So you will just go to Kolek, and I mean, you can even decide to bypass Kolek and attack other areas, but yeah, in any case, it's not the best probably starting location. About the starting army, he will have some Ogre, and I mean, since Tamurkhan is not enough strong, you will have the Rot Knights that I said in multiple videos. They're one of the best cavalry, the best monstrous cavalry and best unit in this game. So yeah, quite powerful, and yeah, you will have access to many different abilities that I mean, they will increase the power of your army and your faction. So yeah, it's an easy campaign. It's definitely not a challenge. The Ogre Kingdoms. This was another faction that at the release of the game I didn't enjoy that much, but when they release the Golg Maneater with the new mechanics and the new units, I started to have a lot of fun with them. So let's start with Grisus Gold Tooth. It started in the Mountains of Morn, and this is the most basic of the Ogre Kingdoms campaign, because what you have to do is what an Ogre Kingdom is an Ogre Lord is supposed to do, conquering all the Mountains of Morn. You can decide if making alliance to break alliance. You will fight a lot against Greenskins, a little of Dwarfs, and other Ogre Kingdoms factions, and when you will finally conquer all the Mountains of Morn, at least in my experience, you have no enemy. Everyone loves you because you just give money, you help with the mercenaries, and I mean, even by the lore, you have no enemies. And at that point, it can be bad. I mean, it's not challenging, but it can be funny because you can decide where to expand. You can attack the Grand Cathay, the Darklands, or going in the Chaos Wastes, and in any case, you can even move around till Lostria and attack there, because no one will annoy you in the Mountains of Morn. But of course, just keep them safe and be careful about Khorne. That is probably the least important character of the lore, but we don't know why the most dangerous legendary lord in all the Grand Cathay. Say that he has a very unique mechanics that it's close to, it's similar to the one of the Jade Dragons and of Karl Franz that we will talk later, and I mean, he can just do some campaign boost to his faction. He's of course very appreciated by Ogre Kingdoms, and he will have some help for its economy. In his army he will have the Maneater and the Iron Guts as a key units of your starting army, and it's a funny dude. I like it. Now let's talk about the Scrog the Slaughter. He has probably the least funny campaign in the game, because it's about the vote to the Great Maw, and even about its starting location. I mean, you start in the Tilea Estalia. Sorry, I don't know the difference. And it's versatile because you can decide where to go, where to expand. But at the same time, I don't know why, I really didn't like it. You can play against Dwarf, against Skaven, against Vampire Counts, against Greenskins, going inside the Empire. But similarly to Grisus, you will not have actual enemies. Everyone can love you if you don't annoy them, so you can decide your play, your game, and honestly I would like a more challenging Ogre Kingdoms campaign, but I mean, now it's too late. You will have access to a couple of Gorgers that are a very, lore friendly units for Scrog, and then all their abilities, his bonuses, effects, they are all about the Great Maw. So it can be a very specific campaign for Ogre Kingdoms. Golg Maneater, sorry I cannot finish the name. I already got a couple of YouTube channels banned, so I don't want to risk. And this is a very funny campaign, but at the same time really not challenging. It's so easy. You can travel the world like all the lords of the Omens of Destruction DLC. You can travel all around with your contracts, and it's funny because you have just to attack a faction, because another faction tells you to do it. Honestly, I wouldn't like these mechanics to work even when it's the AI playing with him, because I mean that would be the funny that you are playing your campaign in Kislev and not in Kislev, sorry, in Nagaron, and at some point you're playing with Malekith in Nagaron, and like the White Dwarf sends you Golg to take care of you. I mean, that would be for me nice, but getting just his as an AI, he just has his headquarter here in the north of the Empire, and it does nothing, just attacks really. When you play with him, it can be fun, as I said, but really not challenging. You travel the world, and that's good. You will have access to to the mercenary units that probably after the release of the Dogs of War faction, it will be ever released. It will be far more funny, and yes, I enjoyed, and probably I suggest you to buy the DLC, because they give to Ogre Kingdoms very nice units. I really like the units that they get, and at the same time the campaign, it's very enjoyable, only the first time. And yeah, in your starting army you have the Golg Man-Eaters and the Lead Belchers that I mean, together with all the army, it's a very strong starting army actually. So yeah, just have fun with that. Chaos Dwarfs. This with the first time that I heard of Chaos Dwarfs, I didn't like them, even because I didn't like dwarves. That I don't know if you remember, but before Thrones of Decay, they were not very, enjoyable faction. So, my point was, why you want even the Chaos version if, already the Order faction doesn't work correctly. But when I started to see all the units, all their lore, I love them, and I was waiting so much to play with them in the game. This is, I mean, even at the release of, Total War Warhammer 3, my only point was, okay, no, please, I just want to know that the Chaos Dwarfs are coming. They left all the Darklands blank with no legendary lords, so they were supposedly coming, but we were not sure, and they stayed 1 year with the anxiety for that. But they finally came, and yeah, they are my favorite. By the lore, they are my favorite faction. As a battle faction, they are probably some potential not expressed. I mean, just the things that all the legendary, all the lords can just fly on bull. I mean, they could have done something more. But yes, their mechanics are probably some of the most. They are definitely the most complex of the game. So it's just for hard player. If you want to buy the DLC, I mean, first play with all the other faction, and just at the end you will be good enough to play with the Chaos Dwarfs. Let's start with Astragoth. Astragoth starts in the worst, my opinion, starting location, because the area is very wide. You need always a couple of turns to attack another settlement, and yeah, things will go very slowly, but it's even the easiest. So if it's your first time with Chaos Dwarfs, this is probably the best. You will not have some imminent dangers, just some greenskins. There will be Arbal in in the north that I mean, they will not attack you. So from the north you can be safe. You decide if attacking the others, but they will not attack you. I mean, unless if Boris conquer all the Chaos Wastes, but it's very rare to happen. You will have Gringor at some point. They will attack you, and probably you will have Neferata in in few DLC, but for now, yeah, it's just an easy campaign, not my favorite, nothing unique. All the mechanics of Chaos Dwarfs are the same, so don't expect a unique mechanics for that. And yes, in your starting army you will have a Bull Centaur render hero and a unit that they will make, we can say, the difference. And even the blunderbusses are actually, I mean, they're more expensive than it looks like, even if people think they are a low tier missile infantry. They're definitely not. So my least favorite here. Drazoat the Ashen is my second favorite. Yes, it starts with the Cathay Fireborn. Of course, it's the more demon specialized lord. Even here, nothing to say about he doesn't have unique mechanics. His starting location is quite interesting because you are in the middle of problems. You can have Kugat and Gorst attacking you from east, Imrik on the west, that it will be one of your major troubles. Then Tzeentch, that I mean, is still a Skaven, even if it's not the most powerful Skaven. It's a Skaven, and yes, many things like that. It can be challenging, not only for the legendary lords around you, but because it's very hard to protect. And the Chaos Dwarfs can play defensively till a certain time, because they need buildings. They have all the buildings split in departments, and you need the building for any of these function to create armaments, to for the mining, for the tower, and so on. So defense multiple settlements in the early campaign that's surrounded by enemies can be quite hard. This is probably the most challenging campaign. No, this is the well, I would say probably the most challenging campaign of Chaos Dwarfs, but it's worth the fun. And now I'm gonna talk about my favorite campaign with the Chaos Dwarf, and this Satan the Black. I like this campaign because you can conquer Grand Cathay. You can annoy Grand Cathay from the early game, so you can just move to the east with your troops, and then start to attack the Great Bastions, the Miao Ying, Lokir, and and you can even expand to towards west and attack Kolek, Tamurkhan, Grimgor. You will be both in a safe location, so you can you have your area to expand, and at the same time you can afford to play very offensively. That's why it's really enjoyable, this campaign. About the lore detail, as I said, nothing. You have 2 convoys. This is important. The convoys is one of the main mechanics of Chaos Dwarfs, and you will get access to 2 convoys instead of 1. And even here the units you have that Shrieker rocket launcher, probably is the most elite unit here, but nothing that special. Believe me, if you want to play Chaos Dwarf, probably the first campaign to start is Astragoth, because it's the easiest. But the most enjoyable, if you already have in mind how to expand, what to do, it's Satan the Black. Okay, we almost finished, and we can get to the Warriors of Chaos. This is an incredible faction after the rework that came with the Champions of Chaos DLC. Before that, they were just an awful faction. The Creative Assembly has a good power to turn factions that are almost not playable to amazing. To amazing mechanics, ideas, concepts, and so on. And the Warriors of Chaos are probably the best example of that. Now let's start with Archon. This is probably the strongest faction in the game. You start here, but it doesn't matter, because you will just move around and destroy everything you will find in your path. His starting army, it's this, but don't forget that you can recruit very soon Hell Cannon and Archon with the Hell Cannon, with these units from different Monogoths roster. It's just the best thing it can happen to you. It has very varied effects, and in any case you have to know that it's not a challenging campaign. You will not have challenging fun with them. If you want just to have an easy time and travel around and destroy everything, this is perfect for you. But honestly, I don't like it, because you have no problems. Kolek is the leader of the Dragon Ogre. So if you want to specialize your armies in Dragon Ogres, this is the best faction for you, and he will get nice things. He will get bigger with every faction that is vassalized. So if you have a lot of vassals, he will get bigger physically. Okay, even if its stats will not be that increased. Like say it will get 5 weapon strength more, mass and armor, but it will be even bigger. In the map, it starts between Tamurkhan, Grimgor, and Zatan. This is a tough location because you don't know where to go. I really hope that at some point they can move around, even if there is not that much space, but I really prefer another place, because there is just not that much interesting. You will just fight against other Chaos faction, when the most funny thing about him would be address a human faction. And in any case, in a crazy position between Tamurkhan and then there is Archon. They put Archon, Tamurkhan and Kolek in this line all together. I'm not a fan of that. Not the funniest campaign, but if you want to play with Dragon Ogres, just use that. Sigvald he has the worst starting location. There is Belacor. The worst starting location in this faction. It's in the middle of the Chaos Lords and the Hellbron, and as I said, in other cases you have just to decide where to push. So if going to the west or to the west or to the east, or attack Norsca, but I would not suggest to do that, because then it will attack you back and you will have a lot of trouble. There is even Malus, I think here, Epidemius, a lot of variety of enemies, but not interesting starting location. Hearth, it will be a little more Slaanesh. It's between Slaanesh and Warriors of Chaos, but less to Slaanesh, like Azazel. So it will have an army of Chaos Warriors, but more Slaanesh Slaanesh focused, and yeah, it can seduce units, so something of Slaanesh, and yeah, better for the gifts. I mean, okay, more Slaanesh, but isn't definitely not my favorite here. But it's very good to fight with. I mean, destroy Sigval, it's very satisfying. Azazel, he has a good starting location. You are here in, I mean, you can decide if attacking the Norsca or the Kislev or the Empire. Everyone will loves you from the humans, as you can see. So you don't have necessarily to when you're playing against Azazel, he can decide to attack you. But when you're playing as Azazel, the Empire, Kislev, Cathay, and Bretonia, I mean mostly Empire and Kislev that are closer to your starting location, they will not attack you. It's very hard for it to happen, so you will decide what to do, and you can still try to seduce them, to subjugate them a lot, to spread your corruption and everything. But yeah, it's a lot about seducing, as you can see. The starting army is quite cool. I mean, you have a lot of warriors and one of chosen. And yes, I like to play with him, even if it's not. I mean, here there are many interesting legendary lords, and he's interesting. I like it. And yes, let's move to Festus. Festus, the Lich Lord, has probably one of the best starting location in. Yeah, can I say yes, the best starting location in this faction. You start in the middle of the Empire, so you can just have fun with the Empire, and I mean, it's so good. It's so good. You can just move around and destroy every electro count. Then you can address Kislev, some of the other factions that are all around. You can even fight against Beastmen. You don't have necessarily to be their allies. And their ally, and yeah, I love it. You will have a little of Nurgle. You can brew these plugs. That is like a minor mechanics. I mean, compared to the one to the great mechanics of Nurgle. And yes, the starting army is not that impressive, but you have a giant. And yes, just if you want to bully the Empire, and then it's a funny, nice lord. I like it. Valkia the Bloody. She starts in the north of Naggaroth, in the, I mean, almost the Coast Waste. I think that it's, yeah, they're probably the Coast Wastes, or I mean, just very north Naggaroth. She doesn't have the best starting location, but it's funny because you can, you know, go down to the to Naggaroth and destroy the Dark Elves that, as I say, they are the best faction to play against, and then they can just I mean, they can just go to Norsca, or they can still expand in the south. I mean, you're in a safe place. No one will attack you here back in the icy north, so you can just, it's very easy. You can decide where to go, who to attack, and have a lot of fun. And honestly, if you want, I mean, now it's not anymore a problem, but before Omens of Destruction, if you wanted to have a Khorne campaign without economics problem, this was probably the best choice. Now we have the Village, apparently one of the most played campaign, even if I don't like that much. You have a good starting army. You have the Doom Knights that are quite powerful. You will have access even here to our reduced mechanics of the change of ways, so you can do some you know, manipulation of the world, but less impressive than the Tzeentch one. And yeah, in the map it starts in the north of Grand Cathay. You have to deal a little against other warriors of chaos, some Norsca, and with Zatan, and then you can even decide to get allied with them and attack the Grand Cathay. This is your job. You can of course decide to expand to the Chaos Wastes and hit the Collect, then Tamurkhan, then Archon. This can be a very challenging option. I always wanted to do, and one day I will. And but yes, at the beginning you have just to deal against. What the game wants you to do is just to deal against Cathay, just, you know, to push down, while Miao Ying will try to defend, but she will be defenseless because, as you know, Yao Ming with the AI is just not that effective. A nice campaign, but the starting location could have been better. Bellicor, I don't like it. It starts in this island in the Albion, I think it is, and yes, it can travel the world. He has these portal systems, but and he has an easy recruitment to most of the demons, and he has some bonuses with the gifts. I mean, this is by any chance the easiest campaign ever. It's not even a campaign for me. Just you know, if you want to play with the cheat code, play Bellicor. You just move around the various portals and I mean, hit attack everyone you want. So nothing that interesting to say, and it's a waste because it was a very cool legendary lord, but I understand that it's very powerful, so probably they just wanted to say, okay, just let's put him in an island. I mean, the same treatment of Kugat, actually, and you know, he will find his own way, because otherwise you would have put him in the middle of Grand Cathay, the Empire, or whatever. He would have been, you know, the great enemy there, and that could have been a little repetitive. So, thank you for following me. I think we didn't forget anyone, so really appreciate it for who followed me till the end of this video. Maybe there will be just 2 or 3 of you. I really love you, and yes, please, let's stay in touch for the upcoming news, and see you very soon.